Welcome back, everyone, to More Difference Makers. Today, we're going to be joined by Mr. Norm Duke, and we're going to continue our deep dive and learn more about his physical game, the things that he has done, his versatility, his skill sets, some training tips, things that kept him on the top of the sporting world in bowling for over 4 decades. So welcome back to the show, Mr. Norm Duke.
Hey, thank you very much, Jay. Nice to be here again.
Yes, we're always pleased to have you. So, Norm, one of the things that has always, endeared fans to you is your release, your repeatable, just everything about your mechanics is so sound. Was it always that way? I mean, who did you pattern your game after, if anyone?
Wow, that's a great question. Everyone. I patterned my game after everyone because I almost had to. When I first came out on tour, I was what they called a tweener. And so I was pretty good from out, but not great. And I was pretty good from in, but not great. I thought I was, but, I was pretty much the tweener. And I learned that on tour, man, each subset of bowlers seemingly had the advantage every single week. So you'd have the straighties win one week, the lefties win, the boomers would win, and then the straighties again, but the tweeners were never in there. We were kind of always there, but never winning, and or some other guys, but not a lot. And I recognized that, boy, if I could create that advantage that the straighties have when they're winning, and if I can create that same advantage when the boomers are winning, wouldn't I then be removed from the lane conditions dictating my fate? And that was the one thing that I said more than anything is when that lane condition dictates my fate, that's when I need to go home. And so I recognized that I needed to spread out on all of the tools and build something that would last the test of time. And Jay, that takes a long time. You don't just say, okay, I'm going to learn how to hook it, and you're going to go out there and you're going to start, beating Mark Roth. And those straighties were so good, it was incredible how good they are. I mean, Walter Ray's one of them and great, but man, there were some straighties like Traver and Kent Wagner was just unbelievable. Bowker. You couldn't beat those guys unless you learned how to throw it right to left from a right-hander. And when I say straight, I don't mean going down and in. I mean going right to left with some serious heat sometimes. And you have to build that. So that was one of the reasons why I went 8 years without winning, is I was building something that would stand the test of time.
That statement you just made right there, Norm, stands out, I think, the most. And like you said, you won early when you were 18, and then you went 8 years, without a win. During that time, I'm going to guess your confidence did not necessarily get shaken. You changed your game along the way, knowing that when you get it, it's going to come in bunches. I mean, is that kind of your mindset then too?
Heck no. Heck no. I wanted to go home. I wanted to quit. I wanted to say, you know what? Nice try. But nice try. But I didn't have anything to fall back on, Jay. I didn't have a college education. In fact, I quit school 2 weeks before my high school graduation. And so I had really zero. I could go back and get a job, but I'm going to make $4 an hour at best at the time. And so there's no way I'm going to end up paying the debt that I had accumulated by failing on the tour. So it was like, you either do this or you're going to file bankruptcy one day and start all over. And I knew if I started over, I had nothing. So as much as I want to tell you that I was confident, no, I was smarter than that. And I knew that the uphill struggle was going to be a big one.
So
and
it
then
was.
I came into the round 2 of that versatility thing where I'm getting pretty good at everything, right? But everything I'm doing, sure, I have an advantage because I'm hooking the ball and the hookers have an advantage. But I'm playing the best hookers ever known to man, and I can't beat them when that's all they do. And I play straight half the time, tweener half the time. I'm everywhere. So how am I going to beat the guys that's all they do? Butch Soper never hooked a ball in his life, but I'm going to tell you, that man could throw it straight and beat anybody throwing it straight. You've got to beat him when you've got that advantage. It's not like you're throwing it straight. You have an advantage of bowling all the hook ball players. So there was a big issue for me, is I had to figure out how to beat the guys when they're all playing their A game. and I'm not.
So that, I guess that is a very telling thing again, because one of the things we're trying to figure out is what separates, and I know I've asked you this before, but what separates a champion from a legend? What you said is in there, I mean, maybe your confidence was shaken a little bit in that time.
Yeah, I was beat to death.
But it sounds to me like determination, whether it was an inside thing that you had or an outside thing forcing you, because like you said, I had no fallback plan. So whether that was a determination because you had no choice or a determination because, again, it was an internal, I'm not going to fail thing. So that determination, you know, necessity is the mother of all invention, right? It sounds to me like that was a real factor in your success.
Yeah, in fact, I used to quote, I say quote, I read it in a book one time, and I remember saying it to many of the fans. If I have enough dedication and enough determination, they cannot stop me. They can't stop anyone. I can't stop somebody that has enough dedication and determination. And so I'm glad I had that saying, because boy, oh boy, oh boy, I would run it through my head millions of times when I didn't feel like a winner. And God, boy, I tell you what, when all you've ever done is dreamed of winning and dream of being a champion, and you know in your heart of hearts that you're not a winner, it's hard to take. And it's awfully hard to flip and then come to a spot in your life where you say, no, I'm champion. Not only that, I'm deserving. Not only that, I trump these people, and I'm going to show them. And when you get to that point, it's not something that you say to yourself or that somebody says to you. You have to earn that within yourself. You have to prove it to yourself. And then once you do that and you start believing, holy cow, then the curtains open. And that's when now you're allowed to rule the roost, so to speak.
That is, and right there, I think you got the finger on the pulse of something that I want to learn more about. So we're going to stay with us, folks. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to learn more about what Norm just said there. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Experience the homegrown goodness of Cass Clay Country, where life is made sweeter and healthier. For over 85 years, we've been crafting delicious dairy products from local farms for local families. Our recipes only use the freshest ingredients, from milk and butter to ice cream, sour cream, and cottage cheese. You can rely on us for superior quality and taste that your parents and grandparents will even recognize. It's a difference you can taste. Cass Clay, homegrown, pure goodness.
Welcome back, everyone, to more Difference Makers. We're going to continue our program tonight with the wonderful and great Mr. Norm Duke. So, Norm, we're going to focus on this segment, and I have it titled as The Art of Adaptation, and why you could win on, like you were saying before, why you could really win on any conditions, because you trained yourself physically to be able to go straight, the physical changes to go, hook it if you needed to. So let me start there by asking you, what did you do to learn the game from going down and in to physically changing to be able to belly it when needed? Were there drills? What did you do?
Okay, so Dave Ferraro and I and Tony Westlake, we're in Edmond, Oklahoma, and we know that you got to bend the ball around the corner. We just know it. We can read that the winner here is going to be hooking it, right? And this is before I got good at hooking it. And he and I could get a ball to hook. Tony Westlake could hook a ball. Heck, we could get it, but we flat 10'd every time. That's all we did was flat 10. And I just said, man, I don't know. I can get my ball to go all the way around. I just can't get the 10 out. What do I do? And then one day, I was having breakfast. Gary Skidmore was next to me. We were in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I am watching Mike Miller convert from a one-handed style to a no-thumb style. And I'm having huevos rancheros, and I'm enjoying it. And all of a sudden, he did something that showed me my error in my ways. I knew it right then. I knew it before I ever got up from breakfast. I looked at Skidmore, and honest to God, I said, Gary, I now know why I can't hook the ball. I know it. I'm going to go down there, and inside of 2 hours, I'm going to be the greatest in the world. I'm going to win hooking the lane. I've seen it. He showed me my problem. And after 2 hours of bowling, I was legitimately one of the best hook ball players on the planet. It just I saw it. And then I took that game out there, and I won 5 titles the next year. As a matter of fact, one of those that I did not win, that I led, was the national championship in Toledo, Ohio, bowling Mike Miller for the championship, him using the no-thumb technique that he was showing me. Now, neither one of us was very good at hooking it. We were awful at it. But me watching him, he showed me the error in my ways, and we both took it to an extreme. To where we're bowling for the national championship inside of 6 months. Just like that. So you say, what do you do to adapt? What did you do? Did you do drills? You did it? No, I knew what I was missing. And you want me to tell you what it was?
Yes, please, please.
It was rev per ball speed. You see, Westlake and Ferraro and I could hook it, but once our ball got down there, it would slow down dramatically and it would run out, okay? But then I watched Chris Warren and Mike Miller do this, where they get a ball to rev up so hard and roll it so slow that once it gets down there and starts picking up, it actually looks like it increases speed. Now, in some cases it does. Walter Ray will argue with that, but I know I can get my ball to increase speed down lane, which is incredibly hard. Once I figured that out, now my pocket got that big. I started carrying everything because now I'm getting, no matter that I'm throwing the ball a little bit slow, this sucker, when it hits the pins now, it is on fire. When I recognized that, that turned my whole world around.
So how did you, what physically, if you don't mind me asking, unless it's a secret family recipe, what physically did you do different, if anything, to make that happen?
Well, I had to adjust, when I was hooking it, I was here at first. So I had to adjust everything in my setup. So if you watch me hook it, you'll never see me hook a bowling ball with my bowling ball above, let's say, belly button high. It's always down, and I'm always going to run this thing, okay? So you're watching this where I'm throwing a straight ball. You can tell where I start that setup is up around the logo, right? And I'm pushing it straight on out. Well, if you watch me hook it, I'm holding that thing way, way down, and I'll place that thing in front of me a little bit and just run by it. Now, what does that do? That lets me dictate ball speed with my footwork. So the pace is dictating a lot more ball speed. That allowed me now to wind on it and still get ball speed. Because before, when I wound on it, I didn't get any ball speed out of it. I didn't get that many rotations. But once I started running by that thing and holding it low, oh my gosh, then I felt like I could outhook anybody. Anyone on earth, I knew I could outhook them. And so that was the main thing, is create ball speed with your foot pace. Drop your swing so that you can cup a ball. You can do anything you want. It's not near as hard. And you don't overthrow the hook.
So at position, Norm, did you change your hand at all? Like if you want to come up the back, did you change your hand this way at address? And then to get around it, did you maybe turn your hand a little bit, maybe more to the 2 o'clock, if you will, position? Did you change anything there?
Yes, I did. But I went the other way. I went, how much load? Right? So if you look at Bob Hanley in the day, boy, he was just so loaded up, he was like this. And he would just knock that crap out of that ball, right? But he was a strong guy. Well, I learned from Bob Hanley the beauty of load, where I could now turn a ball and let it go prior to my thumb catching the 12 o'clock spot, because I'm loaded. I didn't get past 12, right? I'd let go here, but I'd still have the momentum of the turn in the ball. So I didn't have to get even to a hook ball release All I had to do is rev through it with that motion. Watch Amleto Monticelli. He's one of the best in the entire world ever at it, where he absolutely is loaded like a mad dog at the top of his swing. And he lets it fall, and he leaves it and leaves it and leaves it, and he can turn the ball and never get to 12 o'clock with a thumb and get it to hook off the lane. So, yes. Was there anything? Everything was different, Jay. Everything I did, from the difference of hooking it and going straight, everything is different. And you have to know what to do. And there lies another problem. Because as soon as you get to where you can do all of it, you got to read it right. You got to determine that what you're doing is going to produce the champion, either that night or that week or that day or whatever. But you got to believe right now, if you're not bowling in my spot, you're not going to win. And that is so difficult to read when you've got the greatest bowlers in the world bowling all around you, and they're all doing quite well. So what am I supposed to do, right? That was very hard for me. I had to learn how to now read lanes, how to read what's going to happen. Fast forward button, I used to call it. Fast forward 2 hours from now, what does this look like, Norm? Fast forward 3 hours, what does this look like? Where's the winner? And sometimes you'd say, yeah, you hook a ball for until about midday, then you go right back where you were and throw it straight and hammer them. Maybe you're like, yeah, hook a ball for half the day and go to fourth there and go at them and try to just exist. But whatever it was you read, it had to be true, it had to be right, it had to be accurate. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. I wasted a lot of time, Jay. I did. I wasted a lot.
As we all have. That's the experience, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to learn more about what you just said again on that transition. That what you just shared with us, I think, is enlightening for many, especially me right sitting here. So, but stay with us, folks. We're going to learn more from the great Norm Duke about transition when we come back. We'll hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back after these messages.
Relationships founded on trust. That's how Lux Wealth Advisors was established, and it continues to be paramount in everything we do. Our professionals are here to make building wealth simple and straightforward for anyone. Whether you're just starting out, nearing retirement, or you're someplace in between, we'll take the time to accurately assess your current financial state, then design a tailored plan to help you achieve your long-term goals. Lux Wealth Advisors, the right answers for financial independence.
Mandan Sporting Goods' new location means new inventory and even greater commitment to supporting your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're wanting personal defense weapons, collectibles, or simply the area's largest selection of ammo, reloading supplies, and new line of fishing equipment, the team at Mandan Sporting Goods will help you find what you need. 206 4th Avenue Northwest.
Welcome back to more Difference Makers here on BEK TV Plus. I'm your host, Jay Fettig, and we're continuing our conversation with the great Norm Duke. Norm, that was a phenomenal segment that you gave us last 8 minutes. It was that advice, I think, is what a lot of us are looking for. I know me especially. So thank you for that. So now we closed that last segment where you were talking about recognizing transition, and you're planning well in advance. You're not just seeing it and reacting to it. What I heard you say is that you're planning even after you're seeing it. What's it going to look like several games down the road? Is that correct?
Fast forward, right? Fast forward button, my friend.
So walk us through that.
Well, people say transition, and you know, I call BS on that, because every single shot that's thrown down the lane has some sort of transition. Okay, you're pulling oil up, or you're carrying it down, or both. So I think transition is always. Now then, what people call transition is, okay, we're in transition, now I have to move. Okay, beforehand, maybe they were moving a half board or a board, a half board or a board. Now they got to bump 6, 7, 8 left and do something completely different. And they will call that transition. I say that transition started in shot number 1. Just how long did you allow it to, how long did you get it to last, okay? And some people could get it last a lot longer than others, right? Because they were really good at doing exactly that. I like to say transition is always, now use your fast forward button. What's this look like in 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours? And it would definitely change. Oh my gosh, it would go from the boomers getting there to the straighties and then back to the boomers, all in an 8-game round, right? And so, boy, that fast forward button was good to me because I could say that to myself. I'd say, look, you got at least 2 hours doing this, but be prepared. Be prepared. Because about an hour and a half from now, it's going to look a little different, and you're going to have to make a decision to get there earlier or hold on and get there a little later. But you have to make the right call. And so once you realize that transition is always happening, you never are waiting on a specific time of day or a time in the round. You're looking for, tell me when, Norm. Done, right? It's not now about what those lanes did. It's about where is your comfort zone on exposing that lane with all of its weaknesses. When a lane is easy to me, I say that's a weak lane right there. I can expose that weakness. And so I try to get there and stay there as long as possible. And I want to get to it early and I want to stay late, right? That's the best way.
So what you're saying is, so you'll know your own game. I mean, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So everybody should know their strengths, right? And not everyone does, but let's say your best strength is, throwing, whatever, let's say it's bailing out or down and in, whatever you tend to have your strength, you want to maximize what the lane conditions at that current moment will allow you to do based off of your strengths. In other words, don't do what everybody else is doing. Do what the lanes are allowing you to do or telling you to do compared to and matching with your own strengths. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, but you're missing the boat, I think, on that, your own strengths. Here's why. I'm, let's say, stronger going down and in from 5. Everybody would say I am, right? No, not really. I won more tournaments hooking the lane. Why? Because I never allowed myself to think that down and in was my strength. I recognized how good I could be down and in, but I also recognized how good I could be hooking the lane. So as soon as I recognized a strength, I had a preference. Well, I don't want a preference. I want to do what the lane's telling me at all times. And as soon as I say, yeah, but this is still here a little bit and it's my strength, you'll stay too long every time. And as soon as you say, well, I'm not quite as strong in there as I am from out here, you'll never get there. So I said, Norm, always move at will without fear. Do it at will, do it without fear. As soon as you have fear, go home. Because now we're in somebody else's business and they're better than you are. But if you can do things and trust that even your let's say something that you're doing that you're not that confident at yet, it's still going to have more room. You're reading more room in there. Do it. And you'll beat yourself at one of your strengths every time because you'll expose the weakness of the lane earlier and more often.
That is amazing thought. I guess I've never, obviously by my statement ahead, I just never thought of it from that perspective. And I guess that goes to show again the difference, and I'm not a champion, I don't want to suggest that, but that goes to the difference between a champion and a legend. So,
And Jay, when people say, well, what would you do to the lanes if you knew that you had to go in there and win? You had to win. I'd say nothing. I'm going to play that lane, and I'm going to play it, period. And as soon as I have a preference, as soon as I have a preconceived notion of what I'm best at, I'm done. I want to know I'm just as good in there as I am out here, just as good in the middle, just as good twirling, lofting, whatever it is. That's my preference.
So it's a mindset as much as it is a physical
And boy, that's
game.
tough too. That's tough to do, especially let's say you win the week prior and you're playing up 5, and the next thing you know, it's iffy, There's something right at 10, and there's something in there, yeah, but you're reading inside a little bit. But I just won, I'm really great from out there. That will become your preference, and that is what I said. No. Always read the lane, always do what it says, and always do it at will without fear.
So Norman,
And I
the last few seconds that we have here, what advice of all your experience would you give to the younger bowlers as they get set to embark on what they want in their career? What would you give them?
Yeah. I want to generalize here. The more you learn about the game of bowling, the more you learn you don't know. So the smarter you get, folks, the stupider you feel. So once you feel overwhelmed, once you feel like this is just not for you, now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. So when you feel at your weakest, realize it's because you're at your strongest that you recognize that there is weakness. Because if you weren't at your strongest, you would have no idea where your weakness is. And weaknesses are not permanent. No. If you can make a weakness a strength over time, oh my gosh, look how much better you can get. If I practice something I'm already great at and I get a little better, I get this much better. But if I take that weakness and I strengthen it to the point where now it is my advantage, look how I leapfrog the field.
Norm, you should be a philosopher. I'm not just a great bowler, but your words that you just gave there are just, I'm going to take that outside of the lanes of bowling as well. So that is incredible advice. And I thank you dearly, both on a personal and a professional level, for your time and being part and sharing your experience with us. I know you've got fans across the world, and your time is worth a lot. So thank you again dearly for spending some of it with us.
Oh, you're so welcome. And when you decide you'd like to have me back, I'd appreciate it. And just give me a call and let's educate the fans. That's basically what it is about now.
I want to tell your story and everyone else's. I want the history to live. Thank you, Norm Duke.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Katie with First Community Credit Union, and we're here with Angry Beaver Tree Services in Devil's Lake. What do you love about FCCU?
I would say it's an organization that's willing to go above and beyond to take care of the community needs. People are very friendly to work with, and they're always willing to go the extra mile to ensure that what I need is being taken care of. I love the friendly people, and like I said, I can walk in there and talk about getting a loan, and they're always willing to sit down and work with you right away. I mean, the process is fast, people are friendly, and it just doesn't get any better than that.
Are you looking for something special or one of a kind? At Bassett Motors, we can help you find exactly what you want.
Come on in and experience how small town hospitality and personal service can make car buying a pleasure.
We know interest rates are important to you. We have multiple lenders to negotiate your lowest payment.
Visit us on Highway 281 in Carrington, North Dakota, and online at BassettMotors.com. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Welcome to the world of exceptional care and well-being. At Chubby Health, we believe in nurturing your body and mind and maximizing your potential. Trust our dedicated chiropractic team and the expertise of our skilled physical therapist. Embrace the future of rehab with stem wave therapy. Restore your body's natural energy flow with acupuncture and discover the power of nutrition with our expert doctors. And don't forget our specialized prenatal and pediatric care services. Put your health in good hands with Chubby Health.
At Gateway Building Systems, we provide unmatched service to all of our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. Our team provides insight that takes you from the ground up to build your future. Gateway Building Systems and Butler Buildings are designed for strength, durability, and longevity. We are here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation.
Well, everyone, I want to thank you for joining us again on another episode of Difference Makers here on BEK TV Plus. We want to make sure to send our thanks again to the great Norm Duke and the other legends that have been on the show. We are going to continue our deep dive with all of them, but in the meantime, we want to be sure to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Brunswick and Hammer, I Am Bowling, Logo Infusion, the X League, Chuck and Deborah Gardner at Bowl for Life Foundation, and Turbo Grips. So again, next week we'll be back with more. Stay with us on Difference Makers for next episodes.